Going to call the meeting together for the City of LaPorte Historic Preservation Commission. We'll begin by having the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, roll call. Krista?
Here.
Peter Steele?
Here.
And David Heinold? David, oh. Okay, well, we'll wait for the rest. And, but we could go ahead with the approval of the minutes from the February 19th meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
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 I don't know if we have enough to vote on it, but we'll have to wait and do that. So,
We need 3.
yeah, that's all we need. Perfect. You almost had
I'm sorry. Traffic patterns are changing, so it took a little longer to get across
This is just the beginning.
Indiana.
So Fonda's here, and we were just looking over the minutes and voting on, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Did you had a chance to read those?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Motion is carried. Do we have any correspondence at this time? Or should we wait longer?
I would just say that, just as an update for the certified local government report, been working on incorporating the stuff that everybody's been giving me. Just if you've had any continuing education efforts, send them over. I know Bruce has. Fonda, if you have anything, webinars or anything.
I went to Deb's thing
Yeah.
in Michigan City last year,
I think I got,
so
no, I don't have that. Okay,
I can't remember the name of it, but I did attend.
write down Fonda. Okay.
You know, did you have the one in Valpo?
Yeah, the
Okay.
one in Valpo at Trinity Lutheran.
Yeah.
Roundtable discussion,
That's what it was.
local and national
Round table.
designations. The one at Valpo was Kurt Garner West speaking. You didn't.
Well, no, the one I attended was in Michigan City.
So, yeah, it was Krieger Smith from Fort Wayne did de-designation process.
Yeah, very interesting.
Okay. Let's see. And then item 9, general preservation accomplishments, list of summary. I think I got most of them on there. The HBC hosted an educational workshop on November 9th, which was presented by Paul Hayden, Indiana Landmarks, on hazardous materials. It covered lead paint, mold, asbestos, with samples of insulation materials. I have down 4 HPC members attended. I think that's correct.
I did.
One,
I believe Sally.
Sally.
Which workshop was that?
It was the one in November,
Hazardous materials.
hazardous materials. I think that was the only one.
I'm sure I was there.
That was at the library.
Maybe not.
And then, so we had that one early in the year roundtable discussion with Indiana Landmarks from, it was presented by St. Joe County Code Enforcement, Steve Stay. So he was talking about the work that they're doing to enforce historic preservation decisions and districts. I think I just had 4 there. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. Or last year, yeah. But otherwise, I think I got everything. I think that's all for me.
Are there any committee reports?
No.
Do we have old business? No? New business, HPC educational classes. Any updates on that?
I think that's the item that Sally wanted to talk about.
Okay. I wanted to bring up about the historic district sign that's on Indiana Avenue by the George Wood Allen House. Looks really terrible, and I wondered if we can replace that sign that's, it's white with black lettering.
Wasn't there some talk about those were going to get replaced as part of the state project?
I don't know, that's why I wondered
Do you
if
know,
that was going to be replaced.
do you know who put the sign up in the first place?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
That's a great question.
It looks really terrible.
I know that signage has been kind of brought up over and over again, that we want to elevate it and get a more cohesive, polished look. I think that would be a great project for some fundraising or grant writing, because we can get matching grants for that work.
We've got 2 years to work on it. so-
That's true. We got plenty of time.
But it would be nice to have that ready in 2 years to put up with all the other things they'll be putting up, so.
Is that the only one that needs replaced?
It's really the only one that exists right now. It would make sense to me that if we're going to do it, we have more, signage, and make it, and then also kind of preemptively tag the neighborhoods that are, kind of like in our lines of sight to be added to the National Register going forward, to just, this is this neighborhood, it was built in this time period, what they're called, so that people, putting a label on it immediately will make it seem more austere.
We'll at least have one at each end of the
Yeah, at least
avenue.
one on each end of the avenues. And we've talked about, like banner signage on the streetlights. And I'm pretty confident that the streetlights that are going in on Indiana will have the ability to have things hung on them. Because I know we're getting like an appropriate streetlight.
What about the interactive, like the walking, the trail idea?
Mhm.
That had any movement?
No. We, with funding options kind of, being a little bit like in motion, in flux right now, a lot of those conversations have kind of stalled out until we get some evening out and we can see what's available to us. Bruce, or would someone volunteer to kind of do some work on a couple of different pricing levels for signage? And then maybe we can kind of, like how much is it going to cost us to put up 2 signs? How much is it going to cost us to put up 12 signs? And then we can kind of figure out how much money we want to raise and what we want to, where we want to go with it. Anyone?
I can do that, it's kind of up my alley.
That is up your alley. And maybe some suggestions for, like, we've got a couple of different neighborhoods that I think should be labeled.
Yeah.
But, kind of like good, better, best.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd be glad to help, so
Okay. We'll
we know
figure
where
it
to
out.
start.
We think about it a little bit, we can put together some maybe, what they call it is like a suite of
Mhm.
signage. So it's all coordinating, it looks the same, and then they can modify some roof view and stuff like that.
okay, great.
So if I can put together a couple options and then review it, see it,
Mhm.
that'd be great.
And then kind of get an idea of how much money we
This is
need.
how much we need to do this.
Yeah.
Do you know what the sign says that you're talking about?
It just says, it's LaPorte Historic District, I think. So I think it's all it
Mhm.
says.
So there's potential to have signs on the boundaries of the National Register district as well,
Mhm.
right? And downtown. I guess, is there a historic district at the courthouse? The courthouse, and somebody told me it was the courthouse and the.
Yeah, courthouse,
Transit.
like, I think it's called
It's-
Courthouse Square or Downtown Courthouse Square. It's called something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The, signage down there would be, there might be some kind of signage on the courthouse block, but I don't remember for sure. And of course, for downtown, we want to stay off of the streetlights because those have a 6-week annual rotation for our kids and Sunflower Fair and holidays. So we're not messing with that rotation.
Right. In the Notre Dame materials, didn't they have a map that had both on it? All the local,
And the charrette.
Yeah.
the local districts and the National Register districts. How do we get a copy of that?
Gosh, I mean,
We
I probably have a
I-
copy of it in my email.
Yeah, it's on our website right now. All the single sites. So like Indiana, Michigan district has a group of 4 or 5 homes. And then 1400 Indiana, which is another, I think it's 1400, right? Is another district, it's like another 4 or 5 homes.
But does it have the National Register districts on
I think that, I mean, like, the demarcation for the National Register Indiana, Michigan National Register neighborhood is Lincoln Way to Kingsbury. That is the accepted boundaries of the neighborhood.
Well, my recommendation would be.
My recommendation would be to put together a survey, like me or a couple of members go out and manually survey, take pictures of the signs that we know of, locate them on a map, and we survey the existing before we introduce new. So
Okay.
that we know what we're replacing. Are we
Makes
doing it
sense
in
to me.
kind? Are we upgrading it? That kind of thing. So as the comprehensive plan takes off, I know they're going to be wanting to talk to the Historic Preservation Commission, and they may even have a historic sub-consultant, design consultant on the team. So that would be one of the very first things, information-wise, that they're going to be looking for from us. And then they'll go out and also probably survey it themselves just to confirm it. But yeah, as far as our little group here, I think that would be the good first step for us
Yeah.
to, I feel like that's stuff that we should know as a commission, kind of off the back of our hand, you know what I mean?
Well, and
So-
there's.
And we don't know if we don't see it in front of us.
Yeah, and there's definitely been some, like, effort on the part of the commission over the last couple of years, like a desire for a more cohesive look that is more on brand with the rest of the kind of city branding.
Exactly, yep.
And so I think that that's a great place for us to put our effort, especially moving towards the comprehensive plan, because we made a really good showing there and made sure that the group that's doing that work was,
Yeah.
they knew we were there.
Yeah,
And so if we're prepared for them, then they're going to take our suggestions more seriously.
oh, yeah,
think.
definitely.
And it's going to help us advocate for the city monies.
So I will start that
Okay.
and spearhead
Thank
it.
you,
and
Krista.
I'll be in contact if I need help.
Okay,
Okay.
You go ahead.
where are we at?
We're just under new business.
Okay.
We haven't discussed this yet.
Yeah, so as far as the HPC educational classes, as part of our certified local government, we have to do two classes, like 2 educational outreach events a year. So we are working on kind of an Indiana Avenue infrastructure education event. Kind of a little bit of, this is the timeline, very specifically, like this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, to help dispel some of the misinformation that's flying around about the project. And then maybe coupling it with with that information being available online on the city website, and someone or more than one someone locally in town, that if someone has a question, they can kind of start with them. They're starting with a neighbor instead of getting shuffled off to an answering machine downstate. As just what I have observed about the infrastructure project is there is a lot of misinformation flying around, and people that haven't been, those of us that live on Indiana, we've kind of been informed about the project as it's progressed, but then people that are, there's just a lot of fire alarms being set off and so I think we could dispel some of that and also help our homeowners feel a little bit more in control and advocated for, so that they know that we're thinking about them. So that's kind of in the works. I've got a place to call to the Indiana Department of INDOT to try to get some direction. We're going to partner with Preserve Historical Porte to advertise it. We do not have a date yet, but it's going to happen pretty quick, probably in the next month. We had discussed doing a Windows class, because of course, Windows always need to be done. But if somebody has a suggestion for something else, we even set a date with Deb, I think, to do it in June.
Yeah, June 14th was what we decided last
14th.
time.
And we're going to, work with the city media person to make sure our advertising is buttoned up for that.
Well, as the chair of the Sunflower Fair Committee, does the Sunflower Fair count as an outreach?
The Sunflower Fair is one of our responsibilities that the mayor has asked us to cover. And it, in the past, has not counted towards the
Okay.
2 events.
It does count for just general preservation accomplishments,
Yeah.
so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wondered.
Thank you, David.
Do you have a location in mind? Turn my page. Do you have a location in mind for the Indiana Ave?
Well, it's funny that you should ask that, Fonda. Obviously, the Exchange is always a great location for that. And great advertisement for, historic repurposing historic buildings to fit modern needs. And so I love to show off the Exchange. We had also talked about Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, maybe, I don't know, Mark had another suggestion, but I don't.
Yeah, it depends on how many people you think are going to attend. That is a limitation of the Exchange building, is the most people we can get in there is about 50.
And we definitely have even more residents than that on Indiana. So
so
we might have to take
Health-
it to another location.
Health Foundation is about 100. And that is with or without tables and.
And we
so-
might be able to grab the Civic for this as well, if it's during the week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm, within the next week or so, I'll have all of that kind of.
So I had somebody grab photos of what, like decades photos of how Indiana Avenue looked at different times. So Danielle at the historical, county museum was helpful with that. So if you want to use those, we're happy to pass them along.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and, if you would just email those over to me, or are they a physical?
Not yet,
Okay.
but we can print them poster size
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
want.
Yes, because you have a poster printer at the library.
We do.
It's wonderful. Okay, yes, if you could, and if, you could, just maybe, if there's a scanned version of the photograph,
Sure.
get them emailed over to me so that it's all coming
Yeah.
together in one cohesive set of information. We are gonna be, one of the things that we're gonna be really cautious about with this, class is to, we wanna create conversations and empower our stakeholders really in the project and with the right information, but we want to avoid scaring them because a lot of advocacy has already happened to protect the properties, and we don't have concerns that it's going to be horrible, but we do want them to kind of just be informed, like here's some things you can do to help this along, and make sure that it goes smoothly. And here's where you find information if you've got a question. All right, is that enough information for everybody right
I
now?
like the idea of it because it's an outreach to not just historic-minded people.
Mhm.
It's information that brings people in that then might be able to be introduced to our part of it. And so I like the fact that we're crossing interests, borders.
That's actually my favorite thing about it, is that it's opening up conversations both with people that just want to know about the project, and also people that live in a historic home that is maybe not locally designated, so that they, we're starting a conversation to help, create the case for designation. Because the city will be more able to advocate for properties that are under local designation.
Cool.
Yeah, baby. All right. So we have no visitors this evening. Any announcements?
I'm on this America 250 committee, which is to celebrate our semi-quincentennial next year, 2026.
Can you say that 5 times fast?
Semi-quincentennial.
Yeah.
Anyway, a quincentennial would be 500 years. So half of that would be semi-quincentennial, which is 250 years, so, which
I
is
just
next
figured out how
year.
to say sesquicentennial, so now you're throwing this at me.
And I just thought, we're talking about some ideas of doing things along Indiana Avenue or in different places that kind of nice to do something next year that we could put up, kind of in recognition of our 250th birthday, United States. It was just a thought.
Are there any ideas floating around yet? You know,
No, but
I
some of
love
these
big
signs and things that we're talking about, if some of them could be put up.
So we
year,
probably won't have streetlights yet.
Right.
But we can certainly put on our best overcoat for an event like that.
Well, if there are other places around the city that we could put something up to recognize the history of different areas, and especially for that particular year.
Yeah.
It's just a thought.
Let's definitely put that on the agenda for next month, and then everybody can kind of put their thinking hats on, and maybe we can come together with some suggestions, next month. And then hopefully it'll start.
Yeah, so activities during the summer, would that be the plan around 4th of July?
There'll probably be a lot of things going on next year in the summer, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in contact with all different organizations, there's the Kiwanis and the LaPorte County Symphony Orchestra and the City Band, and all these different organizations will be doing things in the summer.
Yeah, to celebrate.
For example, already the Symphony Orchestra has their whole season planned for next year. Will be very patriotic, so.
That's awesome.
So I'd just like to see different groups doing things next year. So, something to think about.
I mean, right off the bat, we could definitely ask the, designated homeowners and National Register properties to have kind of America-themed gardens and potted plants and stuff so that the whole street is kind of awash in red, white, and blue. That would be nice. And we could even maybe hold a contest just to encourage people to prepare ahead of time.
Sure.
And since I think big, I'm like, Krista, I'll be talking to you after as our landscape architect.
One event we already had was last September when the DAR planted a Liberty tree at Soldiers Memorial Park. And then the next thing is next month, which is April 18th and 19th. We're going to be hanging 2 lanterns in the courthouse tower in honor of
Oh, yeah.
famous Paul
Revere's
Revere's ride.
right. What date is that?
April 18th and 19th. So anybody who wants to hang 2 lanterns at their house or business or whatever, it's encouraging that. And then Flag Day is going to be the official beginning
Kickoff.
of the America 250. This year's Flag Day. So hopefully you get a lot of flags hung out on June 14th. And if you set them out from June 14th to July 4th is called the there's a term for it, America flag recognition or whatever. there's some term, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But anyway, those are things that are coming up this year already, so.
I'm excited for that.
That
Excited
is
for
the
that.
day of our workshop tentatively, June 14th.
June 14th,
Oh.
Flag Day.
Yeah. It's the same day as the window
Flag and window
workshop.
day.
Hmm?
It's Flag and window day.
Flag and Window Day.
It's the date of the window.
Right.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay,
My mic.
I'm excited for those kinds of
So
things.
keep all that in mind, some things that we could do that we know we need to do, and
Mm-hmm.
and it would be in honor of that year, so.
Oh, man, do I have some ideas.
In the same vein of like, is there something we can renovate? Or restore, or, you know, in the same vein, like a little log cabin or the oldest house, or, I don't know, or something.
The Jiffy Pop building.
The Jiffy Pop building.
Oh.
It's America's favorite popcorn.
Or if we have a day of cleanup in Jimmy Pop building, or, take a neglected historic site. We get a opinion, of course, with permission, and just figure out, but,
Well, of course, the grassy area between the County Courthouse Annex and the train depot is where the first log cabin was built.
yeah,
So we could replace the log cabin.
we could.
They did that for the Centennial, they built the log rebuilt the log cabin, but it's long gone now, so anyway, just a thought.
They did that for the bicentennial?
For the Centennial.
The centennial, yeah.
Okay, so, that's awesome.
Yeah. There is some really creative things you can do with cardboard, just, like as a challenge maybe for some of our young folks into
Mhm.
engineering. So I've seen displays from architect students who are still training for architecture, who use cardboard to create structures, even if you just did it for like a day or so.
Yeah.
Well, and we have a cardboard company here in LaPorte that loves to support LaPorte activities, so I'm sure we could get some partnership there. We would probably need a theme for the builds.
Mhm.
I'm just trying, I'm turned away from you, I feel rude.
Grocery, and you just have like the ice culture, now we're just gonna build cardboard Victorian houses.
There's a whole business for that.
Yeah,
Cardboard Liberty Bell.
yeah, well, I'm just thinking for our theme,
Yeah.
historic preservation,
Sure.
Hmm.
yeah. Like an American Foursquare.
It's America's house.
Never the same. Something, that'd be fun. Okay.
I like that. Okay. So we've had a couple of good ideas. Let's, if you introduced an idea this evening, how about you flesh it out a little bit before I see everybody next month? And then maybe we'll have some direction and, form a committee and find some money to make those things happen. We can put it on the calendar. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. Any other announcements, Bruce? I'm really excited for that.
No?
If you have one, I did not know about a missing person. Should we announce that?
Jean's not on the board anymore.
What happened? Okay, well,
Okay, sorry, I didn't read.
all right, well,
I
Jean
got an
is,
email from her several weeks ago that said she had resigned, so
okay, well,
nope.
all right. So now that was the other thing. So we do have a couple of, spots open on the commission. We can have up to 7 people. It is difficult to maintain seven people, but if someone has suggestions, for commission members, I would, love to hear them. We try to collect people from various neighborhoods in town so that all of LaPorte is represented. And the minimum commitment is one evening a month. Okay? All right, well, if there is no further announcements, will someone please make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Fonda. May I have a second? Thank you, Krista. All in favor of adjourning the Tuesday, March 18th City of LaPorte Historic Preservation Commission meeting at 6:07, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.